20 years ago, Stepanych, a seasoned forester, trudged through the snow, his heart racing with anticipation and anxiety. Today was Masha's birthday, and despite the fierce cold and the lurking danger of wolves, he was determined to make it home. Stepanych had spent the day in the woods, gathering firewood for the long winter ahead. He quickened his pace, his thoughts solely on Masha's smile and the warmth of their modest home. He could almost hear her laughter, the way it danced through the air like a melody, bringing comfort against the chill. But as darkness fell, the forest transformed. The shadows grew long, and the silence was broken only by the crunch of snow beneath his boots. Suddenly, a low growl echoed through the trees, sending a shiver down his spine. He stopped, his heart pounding, and listened intently. The sound was unmistakable: wolves. They were nearby, hungry and restless. In a moment of instinct, Stepanych glanced around and spotted a sturdy tree. He sprinted towards it, his breath coming in quick bursts, and scrambled up the trunk, his hands numbed by the cold. From his perch, he could see the glint of eyes in the darkness: 3 wolves, their fur bristling in the moonlight, circling below. Fear gripped him, but he had to stay calm. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a handful of twigs, throwing them down at the wolves. "Get away! Shoo!" he shouted, his voice echoing in the stillness. The wolves hesitated, their growls softening, but they remained close, watching him with hungry eyes. Desperate, Stepanych raised his rifle and fired a shot into the air. The sound reverberated through the forest, startling the wolves. They scattered momentarily, but Stepanych knew they would return. He settled into the crook of the tree, feeling the cold seep into his bones. As the minutes turned into hours, he fought against the urge to doze off, his mind drifting to memories of Masha. He remembered their first meeting, how her laughter had filled the air like the sweetest song. He thought of the warmth of her embrace and the way she always believed in him, even when the world felt harsh. Just a little longer, he whispered to himself, imagining her face lit by the soft glow of their kerosene lamp, waiting for him. Time passed slowly, the forest enveloped in an eerie stillness. The wolves had not returned, but the cold was relentless. Stepanich's eyelids grew heavy, and he finally succumbed to a light doze, his dreams filled with visions of Masha's birthday cake, the candles flickering as she made a wish. Suddenly, a rustle below jolted him awake. Heart racing, he peered down through the branches. The wolves were back, more cautious this time, lurking in the shadows. He held his breath, knowing he had to wait them out. Minutes felt like hours, but finally, the wolves seemed to lose interest, their growls fading into the distance. After what felt like an eternity, Stepanych decided it was time to descend. He carefully climbed down the tree, his legs trembling from the cold and strain. He landed silently in the snow and scanned the area. The wolves had left, but their tracks were still visible, leading away from the tree. With renewed determination, he followed the path, his heart racing with hope. Each step brought him closer to home, the warmth of his love guiding him through the darkness. As he emerged from the woods, the silhouette of their little house came into view, and his heart soared. The light in the window flickered, casting a glow that warmed the night. He hurried towards it, his breath clouding in the cold air. As he reached the door, he paused for a moment, taking a deep breath. He could hear Masha humming inside, a sweet tune that filled him with joy.